Did you know America has Flag Day largely because of a school teacher from Wisconsin? Not a president, not Congress, not the military, a teacher. In the late 1800s, one man believed the American flag could unite a country that was rapidly changing. At the time, millions of immigrants were arriving in the United States. Cities were growing fast. And Americans were asking a big question. What does it actually mean to be American? That teacher thought the answer could begin with a flag. And somehow, his small classroom idea eventually became a national holiday recognized across the United States. But the deeper story behind Flag Day is far more surprising than most Americans realize. Because this isn't just the story of a holiday. It's the story of how a symbol became part of American identity itself. This is the untold story of Flag Day in America. A country still inventing itself. To understand Flag Day, you first have to understand something about early America. The United States was a brand new country trying to figure out what it actually was. In the late 1700s, America wasn't yet the powerful nation people imagine today. It was fragile, divided, still recovering from war with Britain. And most importantly, people thought of themselves more as citizens of their individual states. Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York. The idea of being simply American was still developing. That's where the flag became important. On June 14, 1777, the Continental Congress officially approved a national flag for the new United States. At the time, it was more than just cloth. It was a symbol trying to unite very different colonies into one country. And honestly, the first American flag wasn't even fully standardized. Different versions existed. Different star arrangements appeared. Some flags looked wildly different from others. But the symbolism mattered more than perfection. 13 stripes for the original colonies, stars representing a growing union. The flag became a visual shortcut for one big idea. These separate states were now one nation. And over time, Americans became emotionally attached to it in a way that surprised even historians. The Civil War changed everything. For many years, the American flag was respected, but not worshipped. That changed during the Civil War. The United States almost destroyed itself. North versus South, brother versus brother. An estimated 750,000 people died. And during that conflict, the flag transformed from a political symbol into an emotional one. For the Union states in the North, the flag represented the survival of the country itself. Soldiers carried it into battle. People died protecting it. Entire regiments rallied around it. If the flag fell during combat, another soldier would often grab it immediately, even under gunfire, because losing the flag felt like losing the nation. After the Civil War, Americans no longer saw the flag as just government decoration. It became sacred. And that emotional connection still shapes American culture today. The school teacher who started Flag Day. Here's the part many people don't know. Flag Day did not begin with presidents, or Congress, or the military. It started largely because of school teachers. In the late 1800s, America was changing rapidly. Millions of immigrants were arriving from Europe. Cities were growing fast. And many people worried, how do you create one national identity from so many different backgrounds? One teacher in Wisconsin named Bernard Seagrand believed the American flag could help unite people. In 1885, he encouraged his students to celebrate June 14th as the birthday of the American flag. At first, it was just a small school celebration, but the idea spread. Schools across America began holding ceremonies. Children learned flag etiquette. Students recited patriotic speeches. Eventually, Flag Day became especially tied to American classrooms. And that connection still exists today. For many Americans, their earliest memory of Flag Day comes from elementary school. Tiny paper flags, school assemblies, hand over heart during the Pledge of Allegiance. The holiday quietly became part of growing up in America. Why Americans treat the flag differently? To outsiders, America's relationship with its flag can sometimes seem intense. In some countries, displaying the national flag too often may feel overly political. But in the United States, the flag exists in a different cultural space. For many Americans, the flag represents ideals more than government itself. Freedom, opportunity, unity, sacrifice. That's why you see it everywhere. Outside homes, at baseball games, in classrooms, at funerals, on military uniforms. Even during disasters, Americans often turn toward the flag emotionally. After the September 11th attacks in 2001, flags suddenly appeared everywhere across the country. People hung them from windows, cars, bridges, stores, not because anyone forced them to, but because the flag became a shared emotional symbol during uncertainty. And this is one reason Flag Day still survives. Even though it's not a major federal holiday like Independence Day, it reflects something deeply American, the belief that symbols matter. The rules, most Americans barely know. Ironically, even though Americans love the flag, many don't fully know the official rules surrounding it. Yes, there is actually a U.S. flag code. It includes detailed traditions and etiquette. For example, the flag should never touch the ground. It should be illuminated if flown at night. A damaged flag should be retired respectfully, and during storms, it's traditionally taken down unless it's weatherproof. There are also traditions many outsiders find fascinating. When a flag becomes worn out, some American organizations hold retirement ceremonies where old flags are respectfully burned. Not as disrespect, but as a sign of honor. And another interesting detail, the flags on the moon placed there during the Apollo missions are technically still there, although scientists believe they have been completely bleached white by decades of intense cosmic radiation. Even in space, Americans planted their flag because symbolically, it mattered. Why Flag Day feels quiet today? Despite all this history, Flag Day remains strangely low-key. Many Americans barely celebrate it compared to July 4th. There are no giant fireworks nationwide, no massive family traditions. Many people forget the date entirely. And yet, the holiday never disappeared, because Flag Day isn't really about celebration. It's about reflection. It quietly asks a question: what does America mean? To different people, the answer changes. For some, it means freedom. For others, sacrifice, opportunity, history, family, and sometimes even disagreement. But the flag remains one of the few symbols that continues connecting generations of Americans together. So, the next time you drive through an American neighborhood and notice flags waving outside ordinary homes, you'll understand something many people miss. Those flags are not just decorations. They are reminders of a young country trying to stay united, of wars fought generations ago, of immigrants becoming Americans, of school children learning national identity, of moments when the country felt proud, and moments when it struggled. And hidden quietly behind all of that is Flag Day, a holiday many people barely notice, yet one that reveals how deeply a simple piece of fabric became part of American life. Because in America, the flag was never only about the government. It became a story people tell themselves about who they are. And whether someone loves it, questions it, or simply hangs it outside their porch, the American flag still remains one of the most powerful symbols in the country. And that is the untold story of Flag Day in America. If you enjoyed learning one of the small things that makes America unique, make sure to subscribe to our channel, My America, because sometimes the most interesting stories about America are hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.